going on, everyone? How is your Friday going? A little later in the day than we're normally used to here at Thralls, but the noon doesn't work for my schedule too much, my morning chaos that I have to go through. So pushing it back to 8. Hope you don't mind, but I will be here for the premiere to chat along with you guys. This week, we're going over Decapitated, Cancer Culture, their newest release. That's an old favorite of mine. And I say old favorite because I got out of them for a little bit. I was kind of out of the death metal thing for a minute, and it happened around the '06 or whatever. I of course heard about the accident and whatnot, and but I just didn't get back to the death metal until a later date, and I haven't listened to too much of their later stuff. But now I'm going to go back and look at some of these albums, listen to some that I may have glossed over in my little venture astray from metal, if you will. This Polish death metal act got started in 1996, released their first album 4 years later in 2000. Very young. And right out of the gate with their album, established themselves with technicality in death metal. Cancer Culture, this album being their 8th full-length studio release. We have Rasta on vocals, Vogue, of course, on guitars, Paweł Pesek on bass, and James Stewart on the drums. And man, the drums are just killing in this album. We'll get into it. The first song, From Nothingness with Love, and into the title track, Cancer Culture. It doesn't tie together, but it kind of ties together. From Nothingness with Love, it starts with this sound of just impending marching doom, like big event is going to happen. Layered guitars aplenty. It's just really good sounding to the ears. And then Cancer Culture comes in. It just opens the floodgate and right into their signature Decapitated style, just frantic guitars and pacing. Vocals are on point throughout this whole album. They then go into this verse that's just a total... I mean, if you're not breaking your neck to that verse, I don't know. You don't like music. Then they move from this like really just straight, just pounding breakneck riff into this really chord-driven ambience, and then right back into that riff. Just a Cigarette is very unique. It's very intense, eerie thing going on in kind of like a black melodic death metal thing. And then there's a little part in the song where the drums break off into this like just straight up rock kind of open sound for just like a measure, and then boom, back into this blistering riff. And they carry that riff out a little bit, but then they come back to that little snippet of an idea, and then they drag it out. Everything comes in and just fills the sound out perfectly, and it goes right into the solo break, which on its own is like this own separate thing, separate part of the song, but it carries in the idea of that song. And that's apparent in a lot of these solos, these solo breaks. They're like their own little snippets. No Cure hit the gas right out of the gate and keep it going, almost like amping the intensity up with every riff and the urgency that they create. It's just every riff is like amping it up, even though some of the riffs are the same. It's crazy how they're able to do this, and Vogue is able to do this with the guitars layered and stuff. It's really impressive. There's this riffage, this passage here where the snare is this really like cool off time, like slap in your face. It's just crazy. And the ending breaks off into this totally Meshuggah, Mastodon, Tool-esque, just tribal jam thing that's like, it's one of the most pleasing things I've ever heard. Fifth track, Hello Death, is this off-time, heavy, staccato, fucking blistering horror movie of a sound thing. And then Ginger, Tatiana's voice comes in, and it fits perfect, and it's so crazy because it's such a drastic kind of like change, but it's seamless, and they managed to put everything together very nicely in all these songs. This one, Hello Death, in particular. And the solo break in this again is fantastic, and man, I hate to turn this into a Vogue like jerk session, but Iconoclast, man, I heard this one. I went into this blind. I didn't look at song titles or anything. First run through, just hit play, go through it. And this song, I was thinking, man, this is like the best Machine Head song I always wanted. And then I look at the notes. Duh. And I know Rob gets some hate amongst the metalheads, guys, whatever, Machine Head. I'm a fan. I like I like Machine Head. I like Rob Flynn's vocals. The dude's on point, and this is this is him at his like best. His vocals are killer on this, and you can almost not even tell that it's him. He really does a good job of changing from his typical styling and does his own thing here, and it's fantastic. Rob, fucking killer shit, man. And then seventh song, Suicidal Space Program. It's more of just Decapitated putting on a clinic on how to put together an intense display of death metal music. This is them, they're just showing off at this point. Come on, guys. The solo break again, just ridiculous. And it's, man, that solo stuff in this song in particular would just make Dimebag get you pull, man. Locked. The song sounds like he's doing some, speaking of Dime, some whammy wah thing, but I'm pretty sure it's just Vogue willing the guitar to do whatever the hell he wants, because he's capable of doing that. And then after those awesome songs continue, you get into Hours of Battlegrounds. Remember when I said that there was a part that it was like the most pleasing thing I've ever heard? Well, that's until I heard this. To create that feeling again in this song, and it's just killer. The amount of atmosphere in this song is sick. It's ridiculous. And The Last Supper is a great closer, but honestly at this point they could just stand in a circle and burp into the microphone and it wouldn't do anything to deter my rating from this album, which if we were doing on a 10 it would be a 9.5, but I got to round up because we do 5, so it's a 5 out of 5 for me. Decapitated is firing, man, with cannons on. They're not even firing out of cylinders, man. It's like rail guns. This album is killer. I listened to it 3 times before I did this. I really wanted to take my time with this again because I saw Decapitated. I was like, oh shit, I haven't listened to the last couple albums, and I was a big fan back when I saw them live, and they blew me away. Super cool dudes, and they are on top of it. And if you don't have this album, get it. And I certainly wouldn't mind if they submitted to play the Denver Deathfest. That's right, us at Thralls and Swinging Noose Productions presents the Denver Deathfest, September 30th, October 1st, October 2nd, Denver, Colorado. DenverDeathfest.com. Get your band submitted. We'll go through it, and you may have a chance to get on the bill. We got some big names that have already submitted. Can't make any announcements yet. Those will be coming soon. Stay tuned. Hit the subscribe, notifications, all that jazz. And the boys are in Maryland Death Fest. I'm going to be doing some more reviews. They're going to be later in the evening. Like I said, my morning schedule just doesn't allow me to get that noon. It's really rough for me, and I want to do these reviews justice. So while the boys are in the Maryland Death Fest, they're going to be updating. I'll snap a few pictures here, and if they send me any more, I'll get you updated. And we have these somewhere. Yeah, right here. Got it. These shirts, go to thrallsofmetal.com and snag one of these nifty shirts. Really cool design. Happy with the way these turned out. So with that being said, thank you for watching the review this week, and until next time.